your successes from yesterday. And then Candace is going to take over and tell us how to make it your day today even more successful. Does that sound fun? I just want to start off by saying I was really, really proud of the handful of you guys that posted your videos to the group. I know for sure there are people that were trying to figure out a way to not do this. And when they saw somebody else post a message that they, number one, had done it, and number two, had results, I know for sure that made an impact. So I just want to thank all of you for giving this a shot and for understanding that, hey, this is a one of many tools that can help you build your database and get closer to a closing table with somebody. So who wants to share about their successes yesterday? John Trell, go ahead.
I didn't have any success. I mean, out of the 10 people that I sent the text to, I had 2 people to respond, but it didn't too much come out of that. But yeah.
Okay, well, 2 people now know that you are thinking about them, and they you've kind of re-engaged that friendship and that relationship, and we're not going to, I want you guys to understand something. If we come up with a cool idea and you don't end up with 3 pendings by the next morning, it doesn't mean it doesn't work.
Right.
It means that we're just planting more and more seeds. Right. And these people are seeing that we're thoughtful and caring and compassionate and thinking about them. And that's what makes people help support us. Okay, who else?
I did 3 yesterday. Got 1 response, and we ended up talking on the phone for about 45 minutes.
Wow.
It was positive. I mean, it's just getting the point of, identifying those individuals that I want to send a video text to that I haven't spoken to in, a period of time. So 3, I'm hoping to get another 3 or 4 later today.
All right, Matt, thank you for sharing that. Can I coach you for a second on that?
Sure.
Don't spend too much time thinking about whether they're worth a video text. They're all worth a video text. So
Okay.
just send them a video text.
It's not always.
It's only going to take 5 or 10 seconds to do it. And if they're like, Matt, we took chemistry class together like 15 years ago. You're not my friend. I don't know why you're sending me video text. Then at least you know that it's time to take them out of the cell phone and you can quit thinking about them. But you're not going to offend anybody by sending them a video asking them how they're doing.
Understood.
And Matt, it's not only just about them, it's about who they might know. They might be like, hey, I got this video text from Matt, I remember him. And somebody's like, oh yeah, what's he doing? Oh, well, he's in real estate. Oh, geez, do you have his number? I mean, it can go like that, because it's not always just the person, it's their whole network. So that's right. When we reach into a database, we're reaching into their whole database.
That's right. The idea of DTD2, which we've talked a lot about in here, is to avoid call reluctance, or like screening your list, so to speak. So the person's names, you're supposed to call, let's say, the B's, and the guy's name is Brown, and you say, Brown, we kind of had a weird, exchange last time we talked. I don't think I'm going to call him. Well, guess what? If you ever end up trying to call him, it's going to get stranger next time. So just call him, say hello. And if it's a horrible conversation and you don't want to do business with that person in the future, then just let it go. But there's no harm in trying. Okay, let's do one more, and then Candace, I'm going to let you take over.
Okay.
I want to go.
All right.
20. Yeah, I did 20, and I got back about 7. I'm still getting a few from this morning, like they just got it and they're just responding this morning.
Yeah.
So I had a really good response with it.
Now, are these 7 people that are responding, are they responding in kind? Like, are they sending you a video text back?
One that did, and she's like, hey, this is so cool. Have you heard of Marco Polo? Why don't you download it? When you do, add me on it. So I'm looking into what that is.
Marco Polo is cool.
She's a millennial and I'm not, but we taught school together, and you know, she's super sweet. So we had a good conversation.
Marco Polo is actually a really cool app. We used to use it when for our leadership huddles and stuff. Basically, it's a video text, and then they receive it in video, and it's essentially a platform for exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Okay. Thanks you guys for tuning in for day number 2 of the challenge. I'm excited to see a great group here. Candace, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I want to echo what Bill said. When I was watching the videos in WhatsApp last night, I cannot tell you the feeling that welled up in me, because I saw business owners taking action in their business and trying something new and getting out of their comfort zones. And I was just, I mean, I almost literally cried, because I was like, oh yes, it's so good. So thank you for all of those. I think I saw Kat. Please tell me if I missed anybody. I saw Ashley, Kimberly, Greta, Kathy, Mindy, Chantrell, and Westland. Anybody that I missed? Okay.
I think that was the group.
Yeah. So, and just remember that today is the day you have to show up with your video on. And so I don't care if you're in curlers, I don't care if you're in your bathrobe. It's just really important to, thank you, Greta. It's really important to turn your video on, and that's part of this 5-day challenge. And Bill, do I have permission to talk about incentives yet, or should I wait till tomorrow? You want to do that?
You can talk about incentives. I hope. We've only very briefly talked about it privately. So
so that's why I'm getting your permission. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
let's do it. Particularly
Okay.
the one from Kathy. We can definitely talk
Okay.
about that one.
Yeah. So we've got some things in the works that I think you're going to love to help you become more professional with your videos. And for the 5 top people, and what's going to happen is, it's when I say top people, for all the people that participate in all the ways that you're supposed to, videos on, showing up every day on time. Greta, I love it. I just absolutely love it. That's the way to show up. That's like, I'm a busy woman. This is what I do. That sends a message that you are like a powerhouse.
I've been to the gym already, so I'm finishing up.
So showing up every day, showing up on time. Hey, Westland, showing up, yay! Showing up with your video on, doing your 10 videos, posting your check-in in the WhatsApp. Thanks, Mindy. That's okay. We'll count you. But anyway, we're going to put all those names in a drawing, and the 5 that come out are
Little louder. You stepped away from the microphone.
Yeah. So we're going to put those names in a hat, and the 5 people that we draw are going to get a professional video session to produce a professional video, courtesy of our friends at Shelter Mortgage. So that you can post on your YouTube, you can post on your Facebook. So we're real excited about that. That's going to be a great value.
I don't know how much that costs, but I'm guessing it's probably at least a couple $100 each.
Yeah, $200 to $300. So. And it'll have editing and everything like that. So that's exciting. So thank you all for doing what you did yesterday. And Chantrell, my first day, I didn't get very many responses, but it snowballed. So I kept going, and then it was like the second day I got a couple, and then by the 3rd day it started kind of rolling in. So just keep doing it, and it snowballs. I'm reading this book right now called Atomic Habits. Has anybody read that? Yes. So it's about, it's a great book. It talks about how we tend to lose sight of, we tend to stop doing things because we don't get the results right away. But there's a place where there's a turning point. So say every day I go to the gym for 6 weeks and I don't see anything, but I go to the gym for the 7th week and all of a sudden I see a bicep. And that wasn't there. Well, if I stuck to it, I can see that bicep, and then it just goes on from there. But if I stop because I didn't see the results, which is our tendency, then I don't get anywhere, right? I just had 6 weeks of going to the gym.
So, Candace, stay real close to the microphone. It keeps coming in and out. And the other thing is that idea, that atomic habit idea, is present in basically every single part of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like, well, I called FSBOs one time and I didn't get any listings, and so I quit. Well, how many FSBOs did you call? 4. And it's like, you just, that's not enough. That's not enough. You got to give it a little bit more. You got to give it a better chance, right? You're not even doing it enough to get good at it. You got to practice that skill. So when you commit to something like mailers, for example, is a great example. I spent $300 on mailers. I didn't get any business. I'm not doing mailers anymore. Guys, if you want to clobber mailers, you're looking at a 1.5 to a 2-year commitment before you're going to start seeing results, most likely. So a lot of this is playing the long game, and you need to make sure that you have the time and the capital to do that. Sorry, I got on my soapbox for a second. Candace,
It's always, no, it's always, when you get on your soapbox, it's always valuable to hear. So I'm good for it. And it's really about doing, like if you just do 1% per day to get yourself better, at the end of a year, you're going to be 365% better, right? That's a big number. That's a big change. So just think about that. So I just want to say that as an encouragement to keep doing your 10 videos. Today, we're going to talk about, so the goal of this 5-day challenge is to get you to a place where you start to get known in your community, where you start to get recognized, where when you go on a listing appointment, they already know you because they've seen you out there, they've seen your videos. So how we're going to do that is we're going to start getting good at posting these videos. The 10 videos are a way to engage people that you haven't engaged with, but now we want to engage other people, right? So we want to talk about who is your client avatar. Think about your clients, both sellers and buyers. And I've got my cheat sheet here, so if I'm not looking at the camera, that's fine. Who are they? Where do they work? What do they do for their hobbies? Let's take somebody, for instance. If you're say your sweet spot is newlyweds, let's say that. Well, they're out there doing things like crazy. They're at restaurants, they're going to vineyards, they're going to the farmer's market, they're doing fun things. They're going to the botanical garden, they're just doing fun things. So we might find out what their hobbies are. What are their habits? They're probably working. And what are their goals? What are their values? These are some things to be thinking about. You won't have all the answers, right? But it's a way to start identifying with our clients. Have they experienced a new life event? I know, Greta, you're working on that. What does their household look like? What brands do they prefer? I mean, are you in the luxury market where we're talking about Gaggenau appliances? Or are you looking at like, ooh, I like the GE because I'm a first-time home buyer? What purchases do they make? What type of social media and accounts do they follow? And this is a big one. If I'm a newlywed person, I might be following relationship kind of social media, or I might be following fun things to do in Atlanta, or I might be following how to buy a house because I'm a first-time home buyer. What are their challenges and pain points? Think about specific and noteworthy interests. Where do they live? Are they moving from different cities? There are a lot of people here. You can Google, and I've done this with a couple of you, but you can Google where most people are migrating to Atlanta from, and it'll list the cities they're migrating from. So what about putting some ads in social, or targeting social media ads to people in those areas who might be moving from New York or Florida to Atlanta, so that you can stay at the forefront of that kind of mass trend. Are they moving to the city, or are they moving outside the city? Right now, people are moving outside of the city because of COVID, right? And this is the key for today. What problems do they have that they might not know that you can solve? So, and I'm just going to give you some categories here to get your minds going. Think about weddings, new baby, divorce, new job, new to the city, expired. You know, I don't like to call them expireds or FSBOs. I call them MNLs, my next listing. But we're going to, just for sake of clarity, expireds and FSBOs. Somebody who needs to downsize, maybe somebody who needs garage sale tips. Somebody's moving to Atlanta and they don't know what area to live in, and you don't want to be driving them all over Atlanta until they figure it out. You can be proactive and send them information about the areas so that they can do a little bit of research on their own. But what about buyers and multiple bids? How to win? A lot of us have had that kind of, yeah, I see pain on people's faces right now. Buyer's agents with too much competition, sellers, maybe my next listings, the M&Ls, what legally has to be disclosed and how can you help? Sellers who are afraid to sell because there aren't enough homes on the market, they don't know where they're going to move to. So you can look through your emails to see what people are talking about. That's one way to get it kind of just look through your emails. You know that people are marketing to you all the time, right? Because we're realtors now. So what are they marketing? What kind of pain points have they identified for us? And then we can also look through for our friends' emails and see what's going on with them and what kind of trends and patterns are happening there. You can search for problems of buying or selling a home in Georgia. Now we're going to talk about setting up a video. Did anybody happen to go to my Facebook business page? It's the story team. Well, anyway, if you get a chance to do that, you'll see some of my first attempts at videos. I'm not professional, but I can tell you that you can get a little tripod with a light ring on it, and it's got a little holder for your phone. First of all, it puts you farther away from the camera so that it's not like this. And then secondly, it lights you evenly from the front as opposed to what I have now, which is creating shadows on my face from the overhead lighting. So it's one way to make your videos a little bit better. And those are about $30. Bowers is the one that I have that I like. I can adjust the lighting. I can make it brighter or softer or warmer or cooler. So that's something maybe to have in your arsenal.
Can I throw out a couple more ideas?
Yes,
like
please.
also all the certifications that you guys have been working on, like Homeward and Keller Offers and Knock, right? You can explain the problem. Hey, what we find is, the homes are selling very quickly, but there's almost always multiple offers when you're a buyer. So one of the challenges with that is we might be great at selling your home, but we may have a hard time finding you exactly what you're looking for in the appropriate amount of time. So I have taken it upon myself to add resources to my arsenal to help you out. And here's how we solve that problem. Also things like, hey, do you want to hear a story about how somebody, needed a plumber and they, Googled, I need a plumber, and they got a crappy one, right? If you want a professional list, a vendor list of people that come highly recommended, so that you don't, get ripped off. We were just talking, Liz and I a second ago, she has a buyer under contract right now that the home inspector identified some foundational cracks. So I guarantee you, if you called, 50 different companies that could handle that, you're going to get some that say that's no problem, and you're going to get some that say that's $40,000. And the guy who says it's $40,000 could wreck that deal. I'm not saying, clearly, I'm not saying, pull the wool over your buyer. I'm just saying it's probably worthwhile to get multiple opinions, and the wrong person can wreck something. You see what I'm saying?
Totally agree with that. Yeah, that's excellent. So I'm just going to share with you, and these are real easy because I didn't get real down in the weeds with what kind of problems. I just thought about all the problems that we're all experiencing. So I'm going to give you the problems that I came up with and the solutions I came up with. And the reason I'm doing this is because you're going to build your videos around this, because you want to be known as somebody who could solve a problem that somebody has that they might even know they don't have. Did that make sense? Did I say that right? Sometimes those double negatives get me. So problem number one, it's a seller's market. So why did my home expire? Well, so some strategies around that, and this is going to be your homework today, is to identify 5 or 6 problems and then 3 or 4 bullet points about how you can solve it. Well, number one is the price correct? Number 2, is it being marketed correctly? Did the agent just throw it on FMLS and then think, oh, I'm going to get multiple bids? Or did they actually prospect for it? Did they actually do some digital marketing for it? Condition and accessibility of the home. Problem number 2, the seller's home needs updating in order to get highest price, and they don't have a lot of dollars, but they do have equity. Well, we've got Keller Concierge, we've got interest-free loans till closing, we've got great contractors that we can provide to them. Problem number 3, what upgrades? I'm going to stay in my home for this year because of whatever. what upgrades and renovations will have the highest return when selling? So here's kind of a great tip for you all. You can go to cost versus value, which is a report that's put out every single year, and it will tell you in depth. It gives a lot of explanation at the front end, and then at the back end, it'll say if you do a new garage door, you're going to get 97% of that expenditure back in value. If you do a kitchen remodel, you're going to get 85% back, and it'll help you. That's something that you can offer. So if you do a video around something like this, you can offer a free report, because every single one of your videos is going to need an action plan, right? And Bill's going to talk more about that tomorrow. Problem number 4. Okay, so problem number 3, what upgrades and renovations will have the highest return when selling my home? Cost versus value report. What trends are happening in homes? Is agreeable gray still the color of choice? I hope not. Great economical resources for supplies. There's a place up on McFarland. It's 1895 granite, and you can go. I work with investors, and they go in there all the time and buy their granite because it's real in quartz, because it's inexpensive there, and they come and measure and do all the installation. Problem number 4: if I sell, where can I find a place to move when there's no inventory? Well, Bill just went over that. Knock, homeward. Being completely underwritten. If you're not going with knock or homeward, being completely underwritten, so the offer is without financing contingency, kind of similar to a cash buyer. Problem number 6, I keep hearing about multiple bids. How do I attract them and navigate and negotiate them? Well, that's part of our expertise as an agent. That's something we can help with. Maybe we have a system for that. It's a spreadsheet, or as Bill or as Aubrey says, Google Docs. Geez, I need my phone. Sorry about that. Agent can vet offers with lenders. When you get offers, do you call the lenders to make sure that the buyer is viable? That's an extra step you can take. And also accepting backup offers.
Now, you could also do things like, the top 3 mistakes that a for sale by owner makes, or just the content is out there. You don't even have to create it.
Yeah.
It's just communicating it in your words to your audience.
Yep. And then problem number 6, and this is the last one: how to win in a multiple bid situation. 1, it's really important as a buyer to be knowledgeable, really understand what you want. Maybe go into off-market homes, and Greta, I saw you sent 20 handwritten letters yesterday. That's awesome. So use that strategy for finding off-market homes. Again, get completely underwritten and then find the home. Present your best offer the first go round. Don't go in tentatively in this market and then try and figure out what's going to happen, because that probably won't work. Be ready to work quickly. So for instance, I had a buyer about a year ago, and they wanted a condo in Midtown because they really wanted to live in New York, but they didn't want to live in New York. So everything was just going so fast. So I was on FMLS every single morning searching for them, because they've done a lot of business with me, and I wanted to really take care of them. And I found something that came on the market that morning, and I called them. I said, we've got to go right now. And we went, and they got that home. We were the very first offer. We were the highest offer. It was a multiple bid situation, and they're so happy in that condo. So just be ready to act quickly. We're not in a market where you can say, oh, we'll go see it tomorrow. We have to see it right now. And that's something that you can do for people. Did you want to say something, Bill? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's just assume that is going to happen at some point, right? Your buyer will find something, or you will find something for your buyer where both of you feel that it needs to go out. You need to get out there today and write it up now. Okay. So if I were to say to each of you, I want to pretend like you're receiving this message. I'm the buyer. I'm each of y'all's buyer. And I say, hey, Matt, I want 123 Main Street. Write it up. Okay. There will be a time where your buyer says that to you. Now, you have to ask yourself, are my forms connected? Do I know which forms constitute an offer? Do I know how to fill in those blanks? Do I know why I'm filling in the blanks that way? Have I written the note to the other agent? Do I know how to use DocuSign, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So go ahead and pretend like you have that now. And if there's a part of the contract or document of the offer that you're not clear on how to how to put it together, or you want somebody to review it, go ahead and write it today and send it to Candace or I for review. So when the time comes that your buyer does say write it up, it takes you 10 minutes because all you got to do is change the date and the property address, and it's already been approved, and you're ready. When you're ready, you're going to feel you're I know a lot of this stuff is psychological, but if you're not ready, you may not ask the follow-up questions that are necessary. You may not dig as much as you need to in order to move the process along. If you're ready, man, you behave totally differently. So let's go get ready, and then the world will bring us the buyers, if that makes sense.
I love
I'm not
that.
trying to be hocus pocus, but it works.
When you build it, they will come.
When you build it, they will come.
And I think, and this is a good point to say as a reminder, if you have not been into DocuSign yet and linked your NRDS number, which is really easy to find, you just Google what's my NRDS number, but you have to link it in DocuSign to be able to access the GAR forms, which you need. Do not wait till your first offer to do that. Get that done. And I'll be talking more about that on launch this week. So any questions so far?
Oh, one quick note on that. So we had a request or two to give to move the launch mastermind to 11:15 to 12:15 instead of 11 to 12. And that will be in Candace's room this Thursday, 11:15 to 12.
Yep. And one other note, and I apologize for this. Well, I'm not going to apologize. I volunteer at a farm every other week, so tomorrow I won't have office hours. I'm at the farm from 8 till 1 harvesting, and no, I'm not going to be on video right after that.
She's planting all the seeds, by the way, with the community that she's friendly with there, and they help support her real estate business.
Absolutely, absolutely. The farmer is actually a former builder, so he's just a great guy.
You're literally planting seeds.
I am, I know. So, and
Yeah.
I'll probably,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Candace. Y'all said you moved the launch mastermind to the middle of the day on Thursday?
No, we moved it from 11 on Thursday to 11:15 on Thursday.
Okay, just so you know, there's a contracts class or a brokerage agreements class at that time that Melba teaches. Or I have it on my calendar as such. We might want to check that.
Okay, well, you'll have to make a decision on what you wanted to go to. Our class will be
Just throwing it out
recorded.
there.
I don't feel guilty, or I don't feel bad if you choose to go to her class. We're just pouring a lot of value into you, and sometimes they're gonna overlap each other.
yeah. So
Thank you
just
for the heads up, though.
they'll both be recorded, so you should have a choice of, what you want to do. So, and very honestly, Greta, the one that I'm going to be doing is for newer agents who need to get what documents they need to have ready, and so on and so forth. So if that helps clarify it for you. So any questions before we get on to homework? Okay, so your homework for today, 10 video texts, and I'm going to say celebrate. If you do 3, celebrate your success, right? Remember, celebrate our successes. So if all you can do is 1, celebrate that. But try and get your 10 in, because that's where you're going to start to see the snowball effect. Go in with that mindset is key. If you go in with the attitude of, oh, this isn't going to work, he's going to, blah, 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 blah. Well, it probably won't. But if you go in with the attitude of, I'm going to reach out to some people that I haven't talked to, and who knows what's happened with them. They might be, and I'm not just thinking about them as business, I'm thinking about them as people. They might have a great story to tell that's going to be really interesting to listen to, or they might know somebody, but I'm just going in with the heart of relationship building. So your 10 videos, you're going to go live again in the WhatsApp. You can share what you learned today, or you can just say, I'm checking in today. I've made my 10 calls, however you want to do it. It's just to show up and get used to getting on camera. You're going to list out your 5 problems that your clients have. You can borrow some of mine. I have no problem with that. And 3 to 4 ways to solve them. And then one thing I would start doing is, as you start to get, you're going to start to get people who want to meet, because when you do these videos, remember your 10 video texts, you're putting a call to action in there, like, hey, I'd love to get together for coffee, or hey, let's get together for lunch, whatever it is. And so be prepared to start adding those times to your calendar. So when you do your video texts, make sure that you've scheduled a little time later in the day to respond to those and also add them to your calendar. And Bill, if you let me share my screen, I'll share my video that I did around the 5 problems. And Bill's going to talk more about this tomorrow.
Hang on.
If you can't, that's okay. You can all
I'm
just go
on
to
my
Candace, where are we putting the
share screen. There we go.
problem solving thing?
that's just for
On the
you to
video
have.
or?
No, that's
Oh, okay.
just for you to have. You're going to build a video around that, but that's going to be tomorrow that Bill's going to help you with how to build that video and what
Oh.
elements it needs to have. I'm going to be at
Okay.
the farm getting dirty, or as my farmer calls it, getting soily. He tells me I'm one of the most soiliest workers he has.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're a hard worker in real estate, and you
Nope.
can't help yourself but be a hard worker on the farm. And the
Right.
builder sees that, and the builder gives you opportunity, right?
Exactly.
He's not going to give the listing to the person who half-asses it at the farm, right?
That's right. Oh my goodness. Okay, can I share?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, I hope you can hear this. If you can't, just go to my Facebook page, the Story Team. I am not, and this is where I'm going to talk about comparison. When I look at Paige Pace's videos, I just want to crawl under the table, but I decided, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to work with what I have right now, and I'm going to get over my bad self, and I'm just going to do it. So here it is. It's not perfect. The lighting's not perfect, but it is what it is. And it's soft.
I can't hear it at all.
Okay, you're just going to have to go to the Story Team and watch this video. Then you'll hear it, because I had to be. There were people sleeping, and I was doing it really early in the morning, so I had to whisper it.
Okay.
But anyway, it'll just give you an example of just get it done. It's not anything scary. And you know what? The people that we see that are the most real are the people that we kind of identify with. So that's pretty much all I have today. Are you all clear on your homework?
Yeah, there's people that actually post their outtakes,
Yes.
like their bloopers, and they get more interaction from their bloopers than they do from their, from the real message.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
want to work with humans, right?
I wanted to add that, you talk about looking at Paige Pace's videos because she comes across very polished, and I understand. I don't know if anybody is familiar with or follows Jennifer Garner on social media, and she embodies what you are talking about as just being, a real person.
Yeah.
Natural. She comes off, she shows her true self, her, her dorkiness, her just being herself. And I think she has garnered no pun intended, but she's garnered a following that, people who really appreciate that, like we don't always have to be this perfect version of ourselves, because that's not really who we are all the time. And I think people can get turned off, honestly, when things are a little bit too perfect, like just be yourself.
Yeah, and I think we'll all start to develop our style within how we do our videos. Some of us will evolve to the professional videos, and some of us will stay just hometown, and that's just going to be our personal styles, and it's all good. So
And
thank
there's
you for
nothing
that,
wrong
Corey.
with doing both, right?
Yeah.
You can have kind of more of a professional video for sellers, or more of a professional video for buyers, and then you can have kind of like, the day in the life of Bill, right? There's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be some, cool stuff, some bloopers. We're just having fun, right?
Yeah, if you follow, there's somebody I follow on Instagram because she's funny. She's a soap opera star turned realtor, and her husband's a soap opera star. Her name is Cindy Ambuhl, Ambeuhl, and she's hilarious. She'll do things like she'll take a video of her getting ready to. Well, one of my favorite ones is you see this hand open the door of a black car, and she said, "I've always wanted my own driver," and then she gets in the back seat, and then it pans to the front, and it's her son, and he goes, "Mom, how long do I have to do this?" And she said, well, let's see, how many days did I carry you? And how many minutes and hours has it been till you turned 16? And so I think you're in it for about another 10 years. And then it pans off. And she just does funny things like that all the time. Day in the life of a realtor. And so I hope you enjoy that too. So any other questions for today?
I sent one of my videos as a dinosaur, and I was hoping that they would send a video back as a dinosaur, but they didn't.
Wait,
That's hilarious, Heather.
that is hilarious.
I was like really considering sending more of them today as a dinosaur just to see if I would get any back as like, or just back as any emoji, but I don't know, but only to people that I have that like relationship with, not to like
Right.
people that would think I'm like a psycho if I sent them me as a dinosaur.
I mean, there's people in my database that like I would call and text and email and for literally years, like I kid you not, years. And like right before I'd just say, all right, I guess this ain't gonna work, I'd text them and say like, is this working? Or like, hi, or something like that. Is like, are you getting these? Just something that had nothing, that was very informal. And they're like, oh yeah, hey, how you doing? It's been so long. It's like, that's what I needed to do, right?
And
So
I've
like
been,
the formal call of, hey, this is Bill Linkwald with Keller Williams, just checking in with you. That doesn't work sometimes. You got to try something different.
Yeah, no, she responded right away and laughed and told me that was great. But I was hoping to get a video response with a dinosaur.
oh, well, but that, you know what that is? Remember we talked about AIDA, attention, interest, demonstration, action. Well, that's AIDA. That's the attention of AIDA. And that's fabulous. And I know one of the things that I used to do with people just to get their attention is I'd say, hey, are you through with me now? And then they'd be like, what? No.
I was just going to ask that because I have a buyer who I've been courting, and they're ghosting me now. So I'm just wondering the best way to do like a final send off, just like Bill was saying, like, are we done? Like,
Yeah.
But
Corey,
very respectful way.
Unless you've been courting that person for years, you're not done yet. Don't let them off
Well,
the hook
right.
after a few weeks.
So, yeah, well, no, I'm not, obviously, I'm not, but just if there's no response and it's just one-sided, what, do you have any ideas, or just continue, just pretend like that's not the issue. Like, just, hey, just continue like sending stuff and like there's no issue.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that. I'd go
I would
into a
too.
home and be like, hey, I'm touring this home in the area that you're looking at. I was thinking about you. How
Yep.
you doing? You have a second
Well,
to talk today?
Yeah, I did tell
And
them
we'll be in the area
yesterday.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I told them, I said, there's a home I'm gonna try to see tomorrow. So if I do that today, then I can send them a video, I suppose. And I did what I said I was gonna do.
Yeah,
Yep.
there you go. Sometimes people are going to ghost you, and that's okay. And sometimes, but I will tell you, you can't claim that somebody's ghosting you after a week. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, Corey, by the way, but
Right. No, I
you see an
understand.
open house person on Sunday and you call them on Monday and Wednesday, and you can't say they're ghosting you. There's not enough time has transpired. These people are busy, right? We
Yeah.
just got to be on it all the time.
Yep, our job is just to stay top of mind, and their job is just to live their life and think of us when they're ready.
That's a really good way of putting it. I've actually never heard it put so simply. Say that one more time.
Our job is just to stay top of mind, and their job is just to live their life and think of us when they're ready.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
As Candace, thank you very much again for all the effort that you're putting into this.
Yeah.
You guys keep sharing was there anything else you wanted to share, Candace? I'm sorry.
I just want everybody to come off mute and say they're in and committed, and let's hear it.
Committed.
All right.
And whoop, 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 come on.
The homework is just the calls today? Sorry, I'm in the middle of taking kids to preschool, so I'm doing the best I can. But so is the homework was just a call today?
And to identify 5 problems that your clients might be having and 3 bullets around them. And I'll post that in the WhatsApp help community so that you can refer to the homework So no worries
Oh,
about
okay,
that,
great.
Wesley.
Okay, thank
Wonderful.
you.
Candace, thank you for all the hard work you're putting into this. Thank you guys for stepping out of your comfort zone and putting yourself on video. One of the things that we will be monitoring before we choose our names out of the hat is whether you're, how you're participating and recording your numbers and all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much for all you're doing, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.